Test, test. Y'all hear me? Hello, New Jersey. Oh, Michael got a notification. Michael, if you want to come on with me, you're more than welcome to. Test. Okay, we got sound. So, Michael, just let me know if you want to come on. We can talk about this update. Got 18 people in the house. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. We're just going to do about a 30-minute broadcast and give an update on what we're doing. And we're going to bring it to you as raw and as real as we always try to do. Happy New Year, Paula Hancock. Let me send Michael the link. Let's see, Michael. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. So Michael Van Patten's going to join us so we can talk about what's been going on with the Soulogy.One website. Hello, Michelle Howard, Norma Costello, Cian Davis, Michelle Nahas, Catherine Payne, Sue Patty, Ann Passard. A lot of names here that I'm not real familiar with. Copenhagen's in the house. Susan Madsen. These shows resonate, particularly this one at this moment. Please share it. Hello, France. Eva Stell, Sophie. Lynn Starkey, longtime friend on Facebook. Fiona Carthew, Michael Fink, Dan Atkinson, Cricket Holden, Katarina Dalmore. Michael, I sent you the link, so whenever you're ready. Hey, Dion Duplay. It's good to see you. Aline down in Stavanger. Good to see you. So we're going to Rebecca Williams. Let me just give a big shout out to Rebecca Williams, who's been instrumental in keeping the Soulogy group going. We've been getting inundated with spam and with fake profiles over the last couple of months, but we've also added quite a few people. I think we're up to almost 26,000 in the group, almost 15,000 in the studio page, and I think 17 or 18,000 on my page. And most of those are not overlaps. So we got about 60,000 that we can, 60,000 in the community that we can count on. And about 40,000 of those are active every week. Hello, Vienna. Hello, Kathy Wandasega. Michael's downloading the app. Here he is. Okay.
Hello. Going live.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. You're a little bit off. Half your face is on, half is off.
Oh. This side or this side?
Right
Which
there.
side?
That one. Back in the middle? Well, you're too far to the other way. Right? About there. That's
okay.
Good. So.
Oh, technology.
Yeah. And so, here we go again. So I'm just going to start off this by saying this is an update of the Soulogy.One website, which is not yet launched. We do have the domain name, we do have the host, and we do have a potential streaming platform, which we tested today. Michael, we can talk about that in a little bit. I want to talk about what we're all going through first, and how what we're doing here at Soulogy, which is everybody that's involved, all the 60,000 people that are on the pages, as well as the many, many thousands of people that haven't liked SoulogyOneStudios page or haven't joined the Soulogy group or aren't a follower or friend on my page. Those are our three vehicles. But there's many, many, many more people that join in on the programming and comment and engage every week. I don't know what that number is because Facebook doesn't allow us to see that number, but I can guess that our reach is 1 million, give or take a couple 100,000 every week, depending on how many shows we have. And we have plenty of shows we're lining up right now. Morgan's lining up show after show over the next 10 or 12 days. Hello, Nori Love, Lisi, Cherie Gerard. So I want to talk about and just bring it to you raw. We have been looking to stabilize Soulogy, and as we are a reflection of all of our journeys and our journey collectively here in this realm. And we spent a couple of days in a temporary new place where we had some phenomenal, Morgan and I had some phenomenal connections and experiences that are very positive. And I think this is kind of how this whole thing has been going, especially since the first of the year. I woke up this morning and we're both feeling some kind of offness, not with each other, but just with, just energies in the air. I saw a couple of posts on the Schumann resonance, the poles shifting and this and that. And I really try not to get caught up in all that. Just try to stay in my own space, in my own presence. That's what I'm learning. And I think we're all learning that. So Soulogy, as the work in process that it is a reflection of all of us. And I want to make it abundantly clear that every single person is part of Soulogy.One, which is the website name, which will be opening up soon. That's very important because as I understood it from Infinite Intelligence, we were to break away, and I'd been getting it for months and didn't really understand it. And now everything's starting to align. And that is to break away from any constructs of the matrix, so to speak. And that's not an easy thing. All of us have been coming out of a 3D paradigm, if that's what you want to call it. I believe we're walking in 5D now, but we still have to continue to let go of these things that we are accustomed to, that make us feel like we're in a comfort zone, patterns, behaviors, and that type of thing, old stories, traumas, and all that. So it seems like we take a couple of steps up, we get some divine intervention, we get some divine synchronicities and validation, then we wake up on days like today, if it's me, and you wake up feeling very human. And so, the only thing I know to do is to pull together in that time and to align energy, just as we did on the show earlier today with Sabrina Mick, who had never been on before, and said, what are we going to talk about? And I said, I don't know. We're just going to go and talk about it. And she talked about, everything. She talked about her difficulties and her challenges and her awakening and her expanded awareness and her being the black sheep of her family. And they think something's wrong with her mentally and so on and so on and so on. All these stories that we share. I don't feel that as we are experiencing these things, we necessarily get the activations, the full impact of the activations, and we feel all warm and fuzzy. But they do come. They do come. And one thing I've learned from Morgan is when we do get activated, it takes 2 to 5 days for the brain to catch up. So I know these divine experiences we've had together, Morgan and I, over the last couple of days, and even with Michael, Katie, and Paul Handwriter, we had a nice 5D meeting 2 or 3 days ago. These, the ramifications or the consequences of pulling together all of our aspects into a common place like Soulogy is empowering and expansive for everyone. And it might take a couple of days, 2, 3, 4, 5 days for our brains to catch up, but we have to keep moving on. So we seem to be in a space where we've made the decision not to be anchored or held back by linear anymore. We're not linear, we're quantum. And we are writing the new template. There aren't any directions. There is not an owner's manual. We are taking the intelligence link that we had, called the Akashic Records, that we came into these incarnations with, into this incarnation, and we're combining that with our experience. And we're creating a new good book, a new template, a new blueprint. And And the way we do that is to walk into the unknown. The difference is, although the ascension is a very personal trip, we're able now to walk, down this soul highway hand in hand with many, many brothers and sisters more and more every single day. So, having said that, I just wanted to preface the discussion that we're going to have in the update and just let everybody know that I and Michael and Morgan and Katie and Paul and everyone out there, we're all in the same boat. We're all faced with the same energetic challenges. And I think the brutal honesty of the soul, and I say that with the utmost respect and endearment, term of endearment, is the only way to get there. Raw authenticity is the order of the day. And so we're just going to be transparent and upfront about everything. I'm going to hand this over to Michael and get an update, but I'm just going to kind of preface it. We have just this morning, Michael's going to give us an update, have tested our first potential streaming platform. And Michael will give us an update on that. He's also going to give us an update on the vision of what the personal profile based community will be. And the website will also have, of course, all of our archives from all of our shows. And then as time goes on, we add a little bit more. This is all being done step by step, day by day, moment by moment, post by post, member by member, live by live. And that's the only way I've found that I can personally navigate this thing, and being a part of Soulogy to navigate it. And that is just to keep stepping into the unknown and finding out those things that are not true to reveal what is true, the true path. And as we're all starting to understand, the future has no hold on us, the past has no hold on us, and being in the present moment creates a whole new environment, which is one of a lot of unknown. I did, after the show today, after meeting with Morgan today, and us kind of combining, seeking, I received several synchronicities and a couple of visual images that told me, not in human words, but in that etheric, energetic vibration, that everything is in line. Everything is aligned. Even if the human feels off, everything is aligned. And that's where I'm putting my stock into. Katie Innicrow's in the house. Katie, if you want to come on, let me know and I'll send you the link. So with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about 5D commerce after Michael talks about the update on our first test today and anything else he wants to add on the potentialities of what he's working on in terms of the website. It's on you.
No, it's on me. Okay. We tested the webinar jam and we were, oh my God. It's so cool. We have a chat on the side so everybody who signs in, logs in, can chat away just like we do here on Facebook. And that's the thing. We've all gotten very comfortable with Facebook, and so it's an amazing template. But this is the beauty of where we are right now with the collective energy. People have created all kinds of plugins so that we can create our own soulful media website. So the streaming that we did today was our Paul and I. We tested it, and let's see what the exciting thing about it. I love the chat. I love the we have special offers. Just essentially a clickable link. Like, so let's say you're interviewing somebody and we want to have their website right there available. Well, we can have on the sidebar, we can have a clickable link, takes you right to their website, takes you right to any outside website. There's even there was a slideshow function, so that if we're showing all kinds of images of maybe somebody's artwork or whatever, it's there. And not only is it there, in the big main window, but they're there to, like, let's say there's something you wanted to download. You could download it. There was a download button. So I thought that was super cool. Uh, Paul put up one of the Soulogy logos. Actually, that logo that you see in the upper right-hand corner right now, he put up the image there. So that was that. There's still a learning process that we're going through with it. So I'm not going to detail all the things that we're still figuring out, because there's going to be a solution. And so I think that, thank you, Todd. There's no linear timeline on this. We know how we want this to look, and it's we're bouncing off of the templates of social media, so that there's a familiarity, but we're going to have a very simple and elegant user login that will take your email, take your name, and it will be integrated into the back end, where your name and email then is plugged into your Soulful Media profile, just like we have profiles here on Facebook, and all that information can be hidden, just like we do here on Facebook. If you want your email to be displayed, you have the choice. You have full control over your profile, and so yeah, we're going to be able to create groups within the Soulful Media network. We'll have profiles. We'll be able to not like, but follow, make friends, join groups, and then, of course, just simply on the main page, we'll have our widget applet of whatever the live stream is. When you click on it, it pops up into a new separate window. And then the service that is providing us that live stream will just simply ask you to log in with your name and your email, so you can be part of the chat. And and then I think the email is just also taken so that there's a way of measuring the metrics. How many people have joined in and stuff like that. So,
yeah. So back to the streaming capabilities, and I just want to point this out. We actually had found I had conversations with two other streaming platforms that were built a little bit different than Webinar Jam, and they have a higher variable cost that we really can't jump into at this time. They have some positives and some strengths and some weaknesses versus Webinar Jam. And Katie's coming. What I'm trying to say is that this is a constant refinement, and
oh no,
and you're on, and so it's a constant refinement. I think the foundation of the website itself is Michael's putting and the team is putting a lot of time into in order to make it scalable and also to build a solid foundation that doesn't have to be changed. So therefore, again, we're not operating on the linear. I want to get into 5D commerce, and I want to explain on human terms, very human terms, what that means. Katie just joined us. Hi, Katie. Thank you for bringing your sage, whatever that is.
it's no longer the smudge nubbin. I got a new one.
Excellent. People like Katie have been doing this work for years and years. And many of us went through somewhat of a transformation in the last half of last year, where there started to be some reciprocity or equanimity with 5D commerce, with the material resources coming in as proportionate to our efforts, in a way. And so we continue that journey. One of the things I received last summer was 5D commerce. It was an Arcturian transmission that talked about three things. It talked about how it's altogether different. It's all about gifting. It's all about also paying forward, and it's all based on the honor system, so nobody's keeping tabs on anybody. It's all based on the personal integrity of the soul, and then 2, and then 3, and then an entire group, an energetic force. And this is one of the important parts of Soulogy, and it's becoming more and more apparent to me as to why. As we get in deeper, and I've gotten deeper and deeper into what this is all going to take, it's in 3D terms, and it's kind of hard to see this from 3D and 5D at the same time, but in 3D terms, it's going to take resources. We know that the more people that join the community, the more traffic that comes to the URL that's Soulogy.One, which we all, for lack of a better word, own together. The idea behind it is the more traffic that we generate from all the communities coming together under one roof that we all, quote unquote, own, then it will bring superabundance, and that superabundance will be transparently given out to the contributors, all based on the proportion of the viewership that they receive. This is one channel starting that will have a second channel, and then a third channel, and a fourth channel. No linear, no deadlines, but we bring all these groups in together outside of any rules and regulations, or ruleless rules and ruleless regulations of the so-called matrix. This is our own domain. This is our own community, and it is all self-sufficient. So it is entirely member sustained. And so I had put out a post when I first announced this about 10 days ago, and I said at the bottom of the post, anybody who wants to enroll pre-launch, send a contribution of your choice to our PayPal, and we will enlist you in the community. Now, when the community opens, all of those names and emails will be inputted, and they will have access from that point on. And we have received over 110 contributions and members for the pre-launch. Anything that has been sent to Soulogy from January 1st and forward is the love contribution that enrolls you into the community. We will pull the email from the PayPal email that's affiliated with the contribution, and I know there'll be some people that fall through the cracks, but we will make sure that we get everybody up to date on that and get everybody inputted. And let me say one last thing: if there's any case where somebody cannot afford to do something, we are not turning anyone away. Soulogy has always been about, it's an all-inclusive environment. No matter where you come from, what the color of your skin is, or what your religious upbringing was, what your gender is, or what your sexual preference is, it doesn't matter. We're all the same, and that's what we're keeping going. We're incorporating this 5D commerce to put right to begin with, coming into the site. It goes right back into the site. It's reinvested right back into the site. And also, we also know that energetically, as many people have attested to that have come on to the show, Soul Speaks 5D, they come on to the show and they receive a little shot of abundance after the show. $400, $600, $800 from people that are purchasing their practitioner services and or products. So we're not keeping a scorecard. It's not about that. It's about a vehicle that I call 5D commerce, as was given to me, that keeps the machine going. This community is as good as and will flourish as much as is put into it by each and every one of us. Nobody owns it. We all own this together. And this is 5D. This is the nonverbal, invisible energy that we all share And in this corner of the universe, we call that Soulogy. Everybody's invited. So I would ask each and every one of you on the live and on the replay, if you haven't pre-enrolled, we can certainly use all the help we can get. We have more opportunities and more options as we have the resources to do that. Our goal is to stabilize this thing over the next couple of weeks and to launch it with a solid foundation. We'll have a period of time of maybe 5 to 7 days where we will allow anyone and everyone to view the website, to include the archives, the lives, and when the community part comes in, or maybe before, the access will be granted to those who have made a one-time love donation of their choice. And it's going to be spread by word of mouth. At some point down the road, we'll have an app, handheld app accessible feature. And so again, we're not operating on the linear, we're operating on the quantum. We're doing this intuitively, spontaneously, raw, and creatively. And so I just want to say publicly, thanks to Morgan Lee, Katie Indicrow, Michael Van Patten, Paul Hanrider, and Marilyn Biggers for all infusing their own energy into this thing and owning it, because that's really how this whole thing works. We're no longer in a period so much where we tell people what to do or how to do it. It's all about what we do and the living example that we are, and that's really, really what we're perfecting here. And so I just want to say, and I'm going to hand it over to Katie. I want to say thank you to everybody for your continued love, support, and contributions. This is a day by day, post by post, live by live, member by member, moment by moment enterprise. Katie.
Hi, everyone. It's my day off. I'm here anyway. So that's okay. It's because this is what I love doing. So a big shout out, though, to Michael, Paul, and Marilyn, because I think often they're the unsung, and Morgan also, but I suppose she, but I feel like, it's like these guys are the ones behind the computer that you don't really get to see that much. I mean, you see lots of Todd, you see lots of me, we have a lot of public presence, but in terms of what's going on to actually make this a grounded physical reality, the technical aspect is being handled by people who are spending a lot of their beautiful, focused heart space and creativity on, bringing forward the best things that we can to share and support and create this space for community. And so if anybody wanted to join me and just connecting in, and I bring a big, big, big ray of white light to this project and the people who are supporting it. And helping to, keep this project going by embedding our loving frequencies into it, And so I have a lot of experience doing community organization. I've been doing it since I was like 18 years old in various different capacities. And it's one of the things that I enjoy the most. And I would say if there's anything I bring to the table and that I feel I would probably be suited to give an update on, is some of the community status and some of the community engagement stuff we're thinking about having going on. And so just kind of letting you know, like this, there's so many different parts of building something. And here we are at this, Todd's been doing this for a number of years. Where we are all at together right now as a builder is a really exciting time. Because we truly are kind of at that moment where we get to say, okay, so what are our priorities? What are the things that matter to us? What are we going to create, to support inspiration and engagement and thriving? And so, this isn't going to just be us coming on and live streaming, which I mean, it can be just that if that's what you're interested in, but kind of building back and piggybacking off on some of the things, the community engagement component is going to be there. And I know, although right now we're streaming over what is Facebook Live, a lot of people, for example, aren't in love with Facebook. And so this is also going to be opening up the doors for some of our friends and family members and colleagues who have left these realms and, in search of other forms of engagement. Perhaps are less time and, so for whatever reason. So things that matter, things that I'm excited about doing. Definitely going to be instituting a regular community question and answer calls. And so that can be where people can call in. And so I'll be hosting these for now, as I'm sure Todd, I missed part of this. So I don't know what he told you, but I'm sure he told you that a lot of the early programming is going to be offered by he and I as we get things stabilized. And so for now, this is definitely, Todd, you're welcome to do this too. Or maybe we can do it together sometimes. But, for me, I've been hosting community calls in my own community, Indie Crow Academy and Love Wave for the last couple of years. And a lot of it isn't really even, so much about what I have to say. It's about people hearing the experiences of other people and us kind of getting to know one another a little better. And so I do these in a number of ways, and we will be. So some will be live stream with Q&A where we just bring people off and on, and you can be part of the show, or, little guests and stuff. And then other parts I feel I'll be doing will actually be member access only Zoom calls. So we'll be making announcements through the website that it's happening. And then we can record and stream them. We can do the stuff. But I think a lot of when it's multiple people right now, I think we'll have to be on Zoom and it will have to be a private call, but we'll work that out. But the idea here is that we have a place to go and talk and tell stories. And it's a really powerful thing because a lot of this has to do with the next steps is togetherness. So we've got the Crystal Light Network going, and we know that for Ascension to continue moving forward, which is something I always talk about, it's like a big part of it is that we meet our friends and our star family. And so, hosting these kinds of events over the last few years through my pages, it's been really beautiful to watch people become friends and start traveling to meet one another and, performing things together. And so that would be really cool. So what else are we going to do? I'm losing people. Nobody cares. That's okay. Definitely thinking about organizing forums. So some of you might be aware of a forum called Emerging Light. And so Emerging Light is something that Julie Roberts and I created last year. And it was to fill this void that we saw. It was like that there wasn't a lot of information available to parents or teachers who were working with young kids. There were crystal children who were experiencing ascension and or who, were coming together and coming of age and coming to the recognition that they have children that are, energy aware. What do you do with it? And so what we did is we went into our communities that we've been building and we got friends and other practitioners, people that work with kids to come together. And what we did was we created an open access conference, an open access digital video conference that you could tune into at any time. Of course, there's also a tuned in library, but the point of it was, it's like, okay, let's identify a need in our community. Let's figure out what kind of information that we're searching for here. And let's get people together. Let's call together our resources. Let's create a showcase of all the awesome people that are out there and the work that they're doing. And let's get it to, let's put it all together in a package and get it out to people. And so one thing I'm going to be doing in the next little while is doing a survey. So I'm going to go into Soulogy and I'm just going to start doing a little bit of pooling about what people are interested in and about what they want to hear more about. Oh, Paul's here.
Hey.
Anyway, I'm done with my update and Paul's here now. So I'm going to run a survey. Come find it. We'll be looking for more of your input because, like we're talking about community. Part of that means that we would like you to give your opinion. And we will be creating spaces for opinions to be given. And those opinions will matter. So I'm done now. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
So, Paul, you want to offer anything we might have left out or any input that you have from your perspective?
Michael did a pretty good update on our the webinar jam stuff. I'm just went and got a new webcam, so hopefully we can have a more successful test. It looks like it's a little finicky about certain computers, but otherwise it's looking good. All the main things that we wanted are all there, and like you said, variable costs and stuff like that are much lower on that tool, and we're starting to build some architecture structure, like you said, foundation, making sure documents and connections and how everything's configured is all documented so that as we grow, this will be a heck of a lot easier to maintain and expand. So, These are amazing people here.
You're amazing. You had a meeting with Michael today, and then you kind of went over it with me, and you talked about the 5D commerce and the community-based initiative. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go through that again. It might help.
Absolutely. What I'm feeling called to share is, well, for example, I went on Todd's show, I don't know, about a month ago and did my first session. After that, a client came in, and 5D Commerce to me was that first payment from that client went straight to Soulogy, and that wouldn't have happened without Soulogy. So we got to really start digging deep and realizing what benefit this has had. Like, some people are having like massive awakenings inside themselves from something that Todd hosted the show and the guest told them something that just changed their life. This tool, this entity we're building, or this being, is going to do that for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people all over the world. And we have to recognize and realize that when a big change or a big impact came, that's due to all this stuff that's coming through here, and all the work that all these beautiful beings are offering. So what I tried to indicate to Todd was, if we start recognizing that and seeing where the changes are happening and what benefit we're getting out of our life, and new abundance comes in, well, think about giving a little bit towards this. And if everybody puts what works, there'll be a lot of money coming in. We can add more people to the team. We can have new software, new variable tools, etc. And that we're building this for everyone, and everyone's getting benefit, and we can do so much more if you forward the love. Like, we're putting it out as love, and we're loving everybody and doing the best we can and giving the information. And if you give back some of that love that you received, then this will be self-sustaining, and it'll be beautiful, and it'll overflow, and it'll change the world.
Yeah. And then back to, go ahead.
Well, I feel like the transparency of the process is a very important part of helping people understand exactly how something like this works. Because, I know that back a lot of the time in our communities, there was that old archetype that we're shifting out of now, where people gave a lot and felt very drained up, and, that there was just expectations. And I used to face that a lot earlier in my career, but I've felt more and more as time goes on that that expectation seems to go away. The more that you allow yourself to be seen as a person, the more that people understand, hey, there's these people that are back here doing this with no paycheck. Just because we love you. And it's like, we don't want to, but I mean, we will eventually get that paycheck. Not that that's not what is driving this. It's nice to eat. But I mean, at the same time, it's really like community, like community and crowd-funded resources are a thing that people are becoming more and more familiar with. And I do think that it's a great model. And so, yeah, telling people what goes into it just helps them understand that it's more real. And so, maybe once or twice a year, we can have a drive. Be like, hey, guys, anybody feels like it? We'll be, and, no pressure. But if you have a little extra here or there, also gratefully received. And I mean, I changed over my entire pay structure based on that recently. And I went from struggling to being in high abundance, which means I can give a lot of things away to people now. Well, I was doing it anyway, but it's like you can give a lot of things to people who require that support in this moment, because other people who have other things are supporting you. And it just becomes that circle of support that moves around, where we're there for each other when we need it, And we can do it in so many different ways. This is just one of them. So we get together. We build this resource. We support you by doing the best we can to get the best information we can out there, and having fun and doing events and meeting each other live and all this other cool stuff that we're thinking about doing. And we know and trust and understand and have very great faith that all the things that we require in order to continue doing and expanding that will come into our alignment. And we know that you will help us with that, because you always do.
Yeah.
The 5D commerce starts with gifting. I think the people like Katie that have been doing this, and the people that come on to the shows, people like Paul, that the work that he's doing and bringing out now, that's a form of gifting. They're gifting their communion with infinite intelligence and what they've been given, and they're gifting that forward. And this is how Soulogy Soulogy took root. It became, gifts of these people going out, and then gifts coming in, and then again paying it forward when we could and as we could, and all based on the honor system. That's a big part of it. There's a personal integrity that drives the personal ascension, which ultimately drives the collective ascension. And so I think that's very important. I can look at people like Katie, myself. I can look at people and I can know, for instance, in my own right, we all have personal lives. We all have things going on. Michael's got his own thing going. Paul's got his own thing going, where we could actually take the old way, and that is to not gift and have faith and move forward and kind of solidify our own position. That's kind of an illusion, because I think it all goes together. But my point is that all of this stuff aligns together. Our personal, our collective, it all aligns together. And I think it's very important that we walk forward in faith. And I'm going to be the first one to sit here and tell you how human I feel this morning, or felt. I actually feel better now. Left it behind. But the energy that whatever it was that was coming in made me feel very human. It made me feel a little bit scared. And it made me admit some things to myself. And I had some nice revelations and epiphanies and shed a couple of tears. But my point is that there is no way to go but the way that we haven't gone. So I only know one thing, and that is to step through these unknown doors together, holding hands in faith. And I believe that energy is what is growing exponentially around this world. And the more that we can demonstrate that as a group, as a collective, the more powerful and contagious it becomes, and the rest takes care of itself. This is not going to be anything that we could explain or see or understand or experience as 3D. This is straight 5D. This is the fairy tale. The human is the hero, and pure love is the only energy that exists. And we are the transformers who have proven that. And now we are actualizing this, activating this, and bringing this into full integration of the physical and the non-physical. And that's what Soulogy is all about. And that's what we're all about. It's just a mirror. It's a little corner of the universe that's shining its light with all its desire and heartfelt, pure love intention. So thank you all for showing up. And if you want to go around the horn, anybody has any concluding statements, feel free to do so. Oh, there was a couple of questions. I'm sorry. There was a couple of questions. One, they were asking for the PayPal link. I put it in the comments. I'll put it when the show's over. Thank you very much for that. And also our friend Elaine Leonard, she said, I'm putting a webpage together. Could it be part of it? In a visual, a metaphoric visual, that's exactly what this is. It's a personal profile-based community. So everybody's webpage is there. There's a directory. There's a directory of community services offered by the memberships. So yes, everybody has a channel. In the perfect world, as I see it, everybody has their own channel. Everybody has their own page. Everybody has their own whatever they want. And it all leads to the same thing, oneness. And that's the only prerequisite, is that everything is about oneness. Nobody's left out. There is nobody excluded. Go ahead, Michael.
Well, I was just thinking that one of the things that I want to build into this is I don't know if Facebook already has this, but keyword tags. So like if you are, you have a certain modality, whether it's sound healing, you type in sound healing, and potentially you'll get 10 hits, 10 members who do sound healing. And so aside from that, I'm feeling that this is tapping into the human heart grid. Mm-hmm. And that's where all the magic is.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah. Paul?
I agree.
I have one thing to say. This is what our meetings are actually like, and this is what our interactions with one another truly are as we go about building this project as well. And I look forward to us being able to share more also about the dynamics of 5 people as teamwork and team building. So things like everyone in the team is allowed to and encouraged to sleep and eat Sometimes we can't make each other do that because we're all working on our own things. But like everybody needs to be looked after. Your emotional well-being, your service work, other things. Like we're doing this at a speed that doesn't destroy our lives, and part of that is and I know that a lot of people when they move into projects, they're wondering, okay, so how do we lift this? We allow ourselves to flow together in and out. We didn't plan to all be here. I had no idea that this is going on.
Right?
But you know what I mean? It's like we all heard each other in the Astros. This was the thing. And before the end of the broadcast, we all got here, And you'd sync with your team really quickly. And so it'll be really fun, I think, also to just share more about this process of how we're doing this together, too. Because it's really inspiring and fun.
Yeah, I think it's important. Yeah, it is important to be transparent. So
there's none of this going on at each other in the background.
No.
Could you imagine?
No. In fact, Katie got on the video chat with me today because I just had to, like Paul, go out and get a new webcam. And what did we do? We didn't test out the webcam for 30 seconds, yes, but after that, Katie was just like, "Okay, Michael." She just like got me grounded, centered, held space with me, and said everything that she just said, but in much more depth. So, thank you, Katie.
Hey, that is what our team is for, is showing up for each other when we can, and also reminding one another about just how important, like, our health means everything. And this is a huge venture, and I think that a lot of people watching are getting that. This is a huge project we've taken on. And we all care so much about everyone in this collective and serving with our full hearts that just like all of us, when we get caught up in our passion, it takes us a little bit sometimes. And so, hey, if I'm able to sit here and have a nice conversation with you and learn more about your life and also remind you just to chill out a little bit, that's my joy. You'll probably have to do the same with me at some point soon.
There goes Michael breaking up into multidimensional.
It's Michael's at the sun disk.
So.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. So, if you would, those of you who are still here, in the spirit of transparency and vulnerability and humanness and multidimensionality, I ask you to join me as we sign off here and just connect with me in communion if it resonates with you. Just give me a second. I come here with all my brothers and sisters every day to expand my humanness and to expand my multidimensionality and to align all my aspects with you, all my brothers and sisters, and to create a space where we can all thrive and expand. It's not always easy, and I know that, but we're all in this together. We know that fear is an illusion. We know in a sense that fear is a liar. We also know that there's nothing that the universe puts before us that's not a gift. We've reached a point now, collectively and in our little end of the world called Soulogy, where we've gone beyond the point of transformation and we're starting to activate and actualize these things and put them into motion, manifestation, materialization. It takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of courage, it takes love, purpose, conscious intention, and pure heart. And I know that I have complete faith in those things, and I value those things above all else. So I ask all of our teams to join together as one team and to bring us alignment, to guide us, to help us support each other, and create a platform that is always refining and becoming a more and more perfect mirror of the universe. And so it is. Thank you.
Oh.
We got a show in 11 minutes with Zavetta Da Vinci, one of our
lovely.
Yeah, and so we ought to see a really nice, raw, authentic update from her. She's been going through a lot like all of us have. And so it'll be interesting to see how the next hour goes. I'll see y'all in 10 minutes, and thank you so much.
I'm going to throw it out. If any of you out there need timeline help, my episode of Crow's Nest from this week has the last 20 minutes as exercises that you can use. So if you're feeling the roughness that they were talking about at the first, that will help you. Sorry, good to say it.
No problem.
Yeah, the Da Vinci spiral. 10 minutes now. Love you
see y'all.
guys.
Thank you.
Hey.
Bye bye.